When you think of Japan, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably a place of incredible discipline, super clean streets, and a deep culture of respect, right? It's famous for being orderly. But what if I told you that beneath that surface, there are some laws and social rules that are, well, they're pretty out there? So let's jump right in and look at some of the most surprising and 100% factual laws in Japan.
Okay, let's just start with a wild question. Imagine this. Could your waist measurement actually get you pulled aside for a chat at your job? It sounds crazy, but in Japan, the answer is kinda yes. And we are absolutely going to unpack how and why that is in just a bit.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the rules of the daily commute. Then we'll dig into the price of social harmony. After that, we'll explore a system that's built on shared trust. And finally, we'll get to the bottom of that whole waistline thing when we talk about health, work, and identity.
Okay, first up, rules of the daily commute. Let's talk about just getting from point A to point B. Japan's public spaces, and especially its transit, are run by a really clear set of rules, some written down, some not, that pretty much everyone follows to a T.
You know, this isn't just about being polite. It's a super ingrained social rule. When you're on a train or a bus, it is quiet. You'll see signs everywhere telling you to put your phone on silent, and actually taking a phone call, that's a huge no-no. It's all about making sure the commute is peaceful for every single person on board.
And that dedication to order spills right out onto the streets. Look, in a lot of places, if the street is empty, you'll just cross against the light. We've all done it. But in Japan, totally different story. Jaywalking is illegal, and you'll see crowds of people just patiently waiting for the little green man, even when there isn't a single car in sight. It really gets at a core principle there. You follow the rules for the good of the group.
And these rules don't just stop with pedestrians and cars. Oh no. In Japan, a bicycle is not considered a toy. It's legally classified as a light vehicle. Just think about that for a second. That means if you're on a bike, you're expected to follow traffic laws just like a car would. Riding on the wrong side of the street, or worse, scrolling on your phone while you ride, that's not just dumb, it can get you a serious fine. Biking there comes with real responsibility.
So this focus on the group moves way beyond the morning commute and right into everyday life. So many of Japan's laws are built around one main idea: maintaining wa, which you can think of as social harmony. And in a country where so many people live so close together, it's absolutely essential.
For instance, let's talk about smoking and noise. You can't just light up a cigarette wherever you feel like it. Nope. A lot of public streets have banned smoking completely unless you're in a little, clearly marked smoking zone. And what if you're blasting your music super late at night? Well, you might just get a knock on the door from the police. These rules are all about making sure people don't disturb their neighbors.
And then we have the legendary, super complex trash system. And let me be clear, this is not a suggestion, it is the law. You have to sort your waste into all these different categories: burnables, plastics, recyclables, you name it. And each one needs its own special bag and can only be put out on a specific day of the week. If you mess it up, you could get a warning or even a fine. It's a civic duty that everyone takes very, very seriously. Now here's one that might surprise you. Unlike in many other countries, it's actually legal to drink alcohol in public, like having a beer in a park. But, and this is a huge but, the second that drinking turns into loud, disruptive, or rowdy behavior, it becomes illegal. So the law is fine with the act itself, just not with causing a problem for everyone else.
All of this commitment to social order feeds into our next topic, a legal system that's built on a foundation of high trust. This is a place where honesty isn't just a nice idea. In a lot of situations, it's actually required by law.
So picture this. You find a wallet on the street and it's full of cash. What do? Well, in Japan, the law is crystal clear. You are legally required to turn that wallet in to the police. That whole finders keepers thing? Yeah, it does not apply here. In fact, keeping it can legally be considered theft. This lost items law is a massive reason why if you lose something in Japan, you have a really good chance of getting it back. And get this principle applies to even the smallest things. We've all been there, right? It's pouring rain and you see a bunch of umbrellas in the stand. It's so tempting to just grab one. Well, in Japan, that is a huge mistake. Taking an umbrella that isn't yours, even if you just mean to borrow it for a block, is legally theft. And yes, the police do take it seriously.
All right, for our last section, we're diving into how Japanese law sometimes reaches into areas that a lot of other cultures would say are strictly personal. We're talking about everything from your health and your job to even how you look.
Okay, it's time. Let's go back to that question from the beginning about your waistline at work.
The answer is all about a policy officially known as the Metabo Law. Basically, it's a national health program that encourages companies to do annual waste measurements for their employees between 40 and 74. Now, before you get the wrong idea, the goal here is all about preventative health. It is not about punishment. It's about finding people who might be at risk for metabolic syndrome and offering them guidance to stay healthy.
So what are the actual numbers they're looking for? Well, for men, the recommended limit is about 85 centimeters, which is roughly 33.5 inches. And for women, it's a little more, around 90 centimeters, or about 35.4 inches. But it is so important to remember this. Going over these numbers does not get you in trouble. It just means your company will probably recommend some health guidance and support.
And there are other laws that shape daily lives too. For example, the legal age to drink alcohol or smoke is 20, not 18 or 21. If you have tattoos, you might find you're not allowed into some public bathhouses, gyms, or pools because of their historical association with organized crime. And on the work side of things, there are now really strict labor laws that regulate overtime to try and fight Japan's infamous culture of overwork.
So after hearing all that, you have to ask yourself a big question. Do these laws just seem overly strict, or are they all part of a framework for a deep, powerful sense of social responsibility?
In the end, what might look really strange or restrictive to an outsider is all part of a much bigger, interconnected system. Japan's laws, from how you sort your trash to that Metabo Law, are really just individual threads in a giant social fabric that's woven from discipline, respect, and a profound shared commitment to keeping society safe, clean, and harmonious for everybody.